Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Um, well, let's see. Hey, Richard, I'm glad that you were able to come on. Um, I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing whatsoever to put up at 4. I have nothing pre-recorded, nothing scheduled ahead of time, and I usually come on here like clockwork every Thursday. So I figured, okay, well, I've never gone live at 4 p.m. on a Thursday, so why not give it a try now just to see what happens? Um, but not really sure what to talk about. I guess I could just leave it as an open forum and you guys can just ask me. Oh, let me see. Um, my roommate, who's also my best friend of almost 30 years, his name, well, he goes by JC, but his name is Jacobus. It's a Dutch name. His name is JC, and he's 53, no, 54, or he will be in October. He's 53 presently, but he'll be 54 in October. Hi, Sam. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. I'm glad that you're here. Um, what does he do for a living? Well, he has two jobs. He is a dishwasher at a good mom and pop place called First Watch. I don't know if you have them that far up in your area or not. And in the evening on Thursday through Sunday, he is a security guard. So that's his occupations. He has two. Hi Anne. Hi Sam. Hi Rose. I'm glad all of you could be here. Like I was just telling Richard a minute ago, I had no content. I usually have things pre-recorded, to go on at a certain time, but I had nothing. Does my friend like music too? Yes, he does. Matter of fact, I like to think I've had a lot of influence on him in a musical sense, and I'll explain why. One of the artists or groups, I should say, that he says that I was an influence on him on was The Doors. Now, mind you, I don't mind The Doors, Jim Morrison and all that. I'm not, well, psychedelic is not exactly high on my list as far as music of the 1960s. It's something I can take or leave, but I was definitely an influence on him, especially with stuff from the 1950s and some of the 60s, because my normal playlist, whenever I'm in my car, especially, I set up my Spotify or Deezer or Pandora or what have you, and I set it up to play via Bluetooth through my speakers. So 50s music is definitely in my rotation. Let's see. Hi, Scorpio. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here this afternoon. Let's see. How's the weather there where you live? It's been extremely hot and humid here in Windsor. Well, I'm in Florida. I'm in Jacksonville to be specific. The high today was, or is, I should say, in the low 90s. But I want to say over the weekend we did hit 98. And we usually don't hit temperatures like that, if at all, until July or August. More, you know, in the pinnacle of the summer season, not so much in the early part. This is a little bit of a rarity. But it's right now it's in the low 90s. Um, it is hot and humid and muggy here. Um, I'm not big on the rain. When it rains here, I'm just not big on that for the simple fact that when it rains, all it's doing is it's making the temperature, or it just makes it feel muggier, and I don't like that. But I will tell you though, on days now, if there's anything I have to go out and do during the day, I will try to wait and pick a day when it's overcast. Because again, my face, my condition, and I have some videos on that I put up. Everything that everybody would want to know about me, definitely go back and look in my videos, probably February, maybe March. There's 4 parts, maybe 5, and it has everything to do about me. And I believe the first one is probably the most critical one to watch. Let's see. Oh, wow, 94 and up there? Wow, 94 is hot for up there. I would have never have expected that. I would have expected you to be at least low 80s, not 94. Wow. I think Long Island is the only cooler area in the country. It was in the low 60s yesterday. It's mid 70s now. June should be. Now, Anne, you have the best weather. I have to tell you. Now, down here, right around my birthday, I'm a Halloween baby. It's probably a high of about 77, and the low is about 56, 57. And that is what I really prefer when it comes to temperature. I like the mild weather before it gets too overly hot, but I like it uh, when it's starting to cool down. How is the housing market here? As far as I know, it's actually pretty steady. I know right now it's more of a seller's market than it is a buyer's market, so it is more difficult to come across a home because, again, like everything else, prices have shot up, with the inflation and the pandemic. Everything's caused everything to go up. Hey, Jan. Good. I'm glad that you were able to find the live. It was something I thought of last minute. I had no content, so I had to put something up. And I didn't want to let anybody down, so that's why I did it. Um, oh, you think a heat wave's coming through, Ann? It's a good possibility. You see, I'm asking because I'm in the process for my house. It's a buyer's market. They say not good for me. Wrong, wrong. I disagree with that. It's a seller's market because the pricing of homes have gone up. So people that are looking to sell, you could definitely make a profit. This is what Sam, this is what I would recommend. This is just a thought out loud. If you're able to go online and do a little research, um, and see what homes in your area are selling for, that would give you an idea. But I disagree with that. I disagree. I think if you try to sell your home, I think you could probably get the price you're asking. Let's see. I thought it's a seller's market because there's not enough inventory. No, it's definitely a seller's market. It's definitely a seller's market. I myself would not have minded buying a house, buying a place, because some of you may or may not know, this has not, right around the middle of June through about July 2nd. I've had a lot of things happen years back, and 3 days ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, on June the 20th, I'll just say it that way. One afternoon, I just happened to be in the front in the bedroom, and I heard two booms hit the back of the trailer. The last boom, a big round tree limb goes through my ceiling. So my RV that I was living in at the time was deemed totaled. So, of course, the insurance did total it out and they did, pay me accordingly. So that worked out. But I blame myself because I probably should have looked for something 3 years ago before the pandemic and everything hit and the inflation. So I do beat myself up at times for that, but that I disagree. You can get your price. You will get your price. If not, one thing I do know, you can always come down in price, but I think I would do it in increments. I wouldn't drop it too much at one time. Um, well, actually, Richard, yes, I I don't know. The property tax, I would have to give that a 50-50 because one of the places I was, because I go on realtor.com and I just like to scroll through um, Jacksonville. I personally do not want to live in Jacksonville. If I do move again, I would much rather move to a smaller town. And you have some smaller towns in the area. You've got Orange Park, Middleburg, Green Cove Springs, which I love. You have St. Augustine. St. Augustine, that can be a hit or miss because parts of St. Augustine can be very expensive. You have Lake City. You have a town called McClinney, Baldwin. I would much rather live in a smaller town with about 10,000, maybe 20,000 people. And when you get away from the inner city, the prices of the houses come down some. Let me see. Really, the property taxes in Wisconsin are high. You know, I heard this. This is just you know what I've heard along the way. But somebody was telling me that Connecticut, of all the places you can live in the United States, that's supposed to be the most expensive place to live as far as home cost, property taxes. Um, Needless to say, a lot you pretty much need to be rich, more or less, to live in Connecticut. Aha. Okay, and so you agree with me. So what I heard was correct. Okay. Oh, Sam, don't worry. I think you'll be fine. I'll keep my fingers crossed. You should be fine. But to give you an idea though, definitely go online, look up, some streets or look up homes in your area and see what they're selling for. New Jersey too is expensive with property taxes. Okay, my not at current, not in the current times, but from 2001 to 2014, my sister and her husband lived in Hackettstown, New Jersey, which they only lived within walking distance of where the M&M candies are made, M&M Mars. I never went for a tour. I went up there to visit twice. And that is correct. Um, their property taxes were like way, way, way up, like $5,000 and $6,000 a year. Um, there is no way in the world could I live in Jersey. No, no. And get this. Now I am in Florida. Um, I'm having to go back and adjust how I live. I'm having to go back and adjust where I grocery shop. I have to really count my pennies again. I'm on a fixed income. I get a certain amount every month, and that's it. And that's all I have to work with. So let me see. Right, Janet, you would know about New Jersey because I think at one time you lived there uh, about 15 years so back, or can't remember, but I do remember, or maybe 20. But I know you lived in Jersey at one time. Um, yeah, New York is very high. Let's see. Rye, New York. Why does that sound familiar? Um, I'm not even sure where that is right offhand. I don't know if that sounds upstate, but I can't be sure. Um, let's see. Oh my God, Steve, my taxes are around 6,000, and that's considered low for Long Island. Most are 8,000 and up here. Oh, okay, Westchester County. Okay, that narrows it down some for me. Okay, yeah. Okay, near Queens. Okay. Okay, so coming back to Anne, so your taxes are around 6, but they say the normal is 8. Wow, that's a lot for taxes. That's a lot for taxes. Um, Richard, that's a good question. I'm not really sure why the East Coast is so expensive. That is a good question, though. But like I say, I mean, I do know. I mean, now that I'm older, I'm approaching 50 in about 2 years. Um, yeah, Jacksonville. Okay, it's got its points. I can see coming into Jacksonville certain times of the day, if I have to come to certain stores that are not in smaller towns. That I get. But um, me, honestly, I would much rather live outskirts, 10, 15 miles out, which is perfectly fine to me. Smaller town, property taxes should go down. I do want to live a little bit out in the country, so that helps a lot too. That cuts down. Like I say, I've been doing a little bit of research on realtor.com and things like that. Um, there's another one called Zello.com. I go there and look as well to see what places are selling. And I have been told incorrectly. Everybody's saying, "Oh, but a house is going to run you $200,000 or more." That's not really what I'm seeing. I'm seeing below that. I'm seeing around 110, 120, 130. So I've been told wrong, and this has been told to me by a realtor, which, and I get that a realtor's out to make the most that they can get on commission. Let me see. Don't quote me on Rye being in Westchester County. My New York geography isn't that great. Okay, okay. No, not a problem. What I'll do is I can always just go and pull up a map, type it in, and see what comes up. Um, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, you always get Rye mixed up. Okay, it happens. It can happen. Um, Zillow will also show you what houses sold for in a neighborhood, which is helpful. Asking price and selling price can be. Oh, it can. It can because what a house goes up on the market for, is that person necessarily going to get that amount for it? No, because people are going to try to do a little bit of haggling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until, you know, a comfortable price is met. Let's see. My cousin used to live in Rye, New York. He paid $910,000 for a three-bedroom, two-bath house. His property taxes 28,000 a year. Wow. For an 1844 square. Good heavens. I don't think I've ever seen a property tax that high. No. The most I've ever seen in property tax is about 5,000. And again, that's from when my sister lived in Hackettstown. 550, 500, somewhere in that neighborhood. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh well, yeah. Yeah, I think I would move out too. I think I that's wow. I'm uh I'm a little bit in shock seeing that one. I'm glad. Holy smokes. I really didn't think property taxes could go that, but I do now. Well, hopefully now he's living in a much lesser costing home and his property taxes are not near as bad. Um, hmm, let's see. All right, so far you guys don't have anything else. Just making sure I didn't leave anybody's comment out because I want to try to answer everybody here. Um, okay. Okay. Um, Sam, that would be a, a good place. If you haven't already put your house up on this market yet, definitely go there and look. That's a good, that's a, that'll definitely give you a good mainstream idea as to what you could probably sell yours for. Because it'll allow you to put in the amount, the bedroom, how many bathrooms. It should give you a breakdown of how many square feet, all of that, and then it'll come up. Here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, we have a house for sale. It is 13,000 square feet. Again, I don't think I've ever seen a house that big. And the property tax is 18,000. I I don't know what to say about. I'm in shock. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I don't. That's a lot. Property taxes aren't so high here. Two bedroom, 25. Oh, that's not bad. See, now that's more okay. Because I there are places here in Jacksonville where the property taxes are like 2,500, 3,000. So yeah, that definitely does work. Once they're okay, wait a minute. And all right, you just consolidated all of your credit cards into one. Smart move. And I'll tell you why. If you've got 13%, 12%, 11%, 16%, I'm just throwing that out. I'm just throwing numbers out at random. But you have something over here 3.9, 4.9, 5.9, 2.9. Again, balance transfer, very simple to do. You can go online. All you got to do is click on where it'll allow you. You put in the credit card company, go to your statement. If it's a paperless statement, go and pull up a PDF, get the address to where the payment will go to, type that in, specify what the amount is that you want to transfer, submit. That credit card company will either electronically send the money to them, a lot of them can do that, or paper check it. And once it's done, they'll be paid off. It'll be on the over here on this card that you did the transfer on, and then you just start paying it at the lower rate. In other words, as I mentioned in a video that I have up, refinancing your money. Why should you give a credit card 14% of your money when you can do it at another card for 4% and put the 10% difference in your pocket or add that to your payment? But then again, I never tell people to make the minimum payment. Don't ever do that. At worst, minimum payment times two. If you're able to do times three, great. If you can't do the minimum payment, I mean, if you not the minimum payment, if you can't do times two, do this. I happen to know the mathematical formula on how credit cards figure out the interest. It's not that hard. I can tell it to you right here. If nothing else, take minimum payment and what that interest is going to be for that month. Add it together, make that payment. What's the formula? Listen to this. Take your interest rate. What did I say? 4.99. Divide that by 365. You get a daily periodic rate. Times the amount of money, 300, 400, 600, times 30 days. Look at the number, move the decimal point over to the left, 2 spaces. That's your interest. That's how you do it. Oh, good. And great. I'm glad you definitely did that because I had to do some debt consolidating as well. Right now, I've got two outstanding balance transfers. I've got a 2.99 and I've got a 4.99 going. So, and my interest is not really all that much. Okay, Richard, your FICO dropping is not important to you, but it might be to a younger person. Um, yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you why I agree with that. And I know how old you are. And the reason why somebody, say in their middle 30s, 40, I'll just use that as an example, they want to buy a car, they want to buy a house, they want to apply for a loan. Yeah, you need you need about a 650, 680, 700 or above credit score. And a lot of the time, in order to get approved, um, if you've got about a 630, 640, 650 score, a lot of the time they'll go ahead and approve you, which is a fair score. Um, anything that's considered excellent would be like 750 and above, 750 to 850. But that's true though. But that's true though. To an older person who's pretty much done what they've done, so to speak, not so important, but somebody in their 30s, early 40s, 20s, very much so. Let's see. My FICO isn't important to me either. I bought my house in 2021, so I don't plan on using credit for anything else. Okay, good. That's good, Anne. That's very good. Just continue to go ahead, make your mortgage payment, do as you're doing. Oh, by the way, if I may throw this at people that are making a mortgage payment, take your mortgage payment, divide it by 12. Whatever you get, add that to your payment. At the end of the year, you've made one extra house payment. You just knocked 5 years off your mortgage. That's if you're doing a 30-year. Oh, but you're more than welcome to add any additional. All you're doing is just cutting the term down even faster. And it's not just on a credit card, on a mortgage, it's any loan when you add anything additional to it. Let's see. Richard, that's right. They will check your FICO score when they go to want to hire you. Oh, they have the ability. It may not be a hard inquiry, but they have the ability to go in there and take a look. Oh, well, let's see what John Doe's credit score is. Let's see what his history is. They have a way of doing it because they pretty much check just about everything from front to back before they want to hire you. They're funny like that. And yes, Janet, it is unfair practice. But just about anything you do, they have the ability to check your score. If all they need is your social security number, they can find out what they want to know. Let's see. Do you recommend selling a house with an agent or without, sold by owner? In my opinion, REAs get a high commission, but sell the house quicker. What is your opinion? Well, we had a home. Keep in mind, I only live where I'm at right now. Where I grew up, there's a street about three red lights up from me called Collins Road. I literally know this area where I'm at like the back of my hand. And my father and I, we sold a house back in 2012. We tried going the for sale by owner route. You have a lot of shyster people try to call you. And another thing that I will share this with you, Ann. I mean, hey, Sam, make sure if you do go the for sale by owner route, before you do anything to talk to anyone that wants to purchase your house or come look at it, you make sure that they are pre qualified by a financial institution. Make sure of that. That way, what that means is they've gone to their financial institution, they have been, they ran the numbers, and this is the amount of money this person or couple can borrow, and it's a letter that they give you that you are pre qualified to purchase a home. So make sure if you go that route, the for sale by owner, they have that pre-qualified letter. And as far as the REAs, I have heard some stories about the high commission. I'm not really too knowledgeable about that, but honestly though, I think your best bet, you can try the for sale by owner. It didn't really benefit us in any way, but when we got a realtor, that's when, you know, we got a realtor, let me think, probably about May of 2012, April. And in July, um, we sold it. July 27th, we sold it. So there was about a 3 month window. But then again, the housing market was not where it is now in 2012. I hope I was of some help to you. Try it if you want to try the for sale by owner, go that route. If not, find a good real estate agent, realtor, and go that route. No, Janet, a FICO score should have nothing to do with a person getting a job. I agree with that. But that's how they are. They want to know every little fine tooth comb speck minute detail about you before they hire you on. Okay, great. Sam, stick with the realtors. I think you'll be much better off. That's what we had to do. There are a lot of strange people out there. You got to be careful. Richard, I live on 1,084 per month. I can't afford to buy any type of home. Believe me, I know. I get less than you do. I get, let's see, I'm just going to tell you. I get 200 I get 243 a month less than you do. And that's all I've got to work with. And out of that, I've got to pay my credit cards, all of that. So I'm not exactly on the up and up. So I definitely know what it feels like to be on a fixed income. Sam, 5% commission sounds about right. I believe that's what they charged us when we sold. Yeah, I think it was 5%. Yeah, renting is a better option. Yeah, but there's only one problem with the renting. They want the rent times three. If you don't make times three on your income, you don't qualify. Then they want a security deposit. And then they may want last month's rent in addition. So you could be running into some money just to get in. And that's what kills a lot of people is the monthly rent times three. And a lot of people don't have that, but yet they can still make the monthly payment. That's where I'm at. That's true. Not everybody wants the headache of an owner. No, because everything that when you're a homeowner, everything that revolves around your home falls on you. Plumbing, you got to get somebody. Anything, it's any maintenance, it falls on you. Um, yeah, Richard, you got that right. New York rent would get not only you a heart attack, but me. I can't afford to live in New York. I would be on a park bench, and that's not ever going to happen. I won't ever. With my condition, I am not in the position to be homeless. I'm just going to tell you, I can't. I have to have some type of roof over my head. Um, so, and according to my roommate, my best friend of almost 30 years, he was homeless at one time. He says, with my attitude and my temperament, he says you would never last out on the streets. He says I would probably be in jail, but I don't know. Like I said, I do have a temper, so yeah, and it's one that I'm afraid of. So I try to not get mad if I can help it. Um, okay. Oh, Sam, yeah, rent can be high. It really can. Let's see, Richard. Owning gives you more free. It does. And like I said, I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been on the renting side and I've been on the owner side because I still believe in the old saying that America's dream is being a homeowner. I still believe that, but it's just so much to buy a house. That's the problem. Um, I lost jobs due to my temper. Oh, you too. Okay, I'll explain where my temper comes from. And if you do the math or break it down, you'll see why. On one side of my house, my father's side, English and Scottish. And there's quite a bit, and there's more Scottish than there is English. That's one. Then you come over to my mother's side, a little bit of French. By the time it got to me, I don't think it was all that much. English because of her maiden name, and Sicilian. So take all of that into consideration. Do I have a fly off the handle attitude temperament? Yes, I do. And it's quick. People that know me will tell you firsthand that it's not a good temper. It's bad. I've actually been known to break. Okay, this is a true story. The house that we were living in, the one that sold in 2012, well, JC, his mom had passed away. He came to stay with us. This one day, I forget what happened. I got mad at him. He pissed me off just right. I broke a chair with him in it. Yeah. People try to buy homes because mortgages are cheaper than rents. That's true. But the problem is the down payment. Rents are high. Well, I do know this, Sam, from what I've heard. A lot of it also has to do with your credit score. The higher it is of, 780, 790, 800, as long as it's in the stellar, that it's better on you. You're less of a risk. But I think the higher up you are, the less of a down payment you have to have. I'm thinking. Um, so Richard, let's see. True, Janet. It's good and bad on both sides. That's a fact. Let's see, Richard. Quite a few jobs. I've had employers tell me to get anger management counseling. Oh, now, Richard, you and I have spoken. We've talked off and on in the comment section and so on, and we share a lot in common. Our birthdays are 4 days apart, and we share the same zodiac. And that the Scorpio thing could play a hand in it too. But you're not the only one that's been referred to having to go get management counseling. So, and I'll tell you another story. This actually happened to me. This was back when I was in school. My seventh grade homeroom teacher, I didn't care for her. I didn't really like her. I have very few words for her, even to this day. When I was in the eighth grade, she would come, the teachers would come around for each different subject. She would come to the class for science. Well, this particular day, I got perturbed. I got pissed off. She rubbed me just the right way. So in my notebook, I wrote, I'm not gonna say it back. It was very, very bad. I cussed her out on paper. And she came around and she tore it out of my notebook. And it emotionally hit her. And what it led to is I got expelled. And this was in a Catholic school, by the way. It was so bad, they had to send me to a psychiatrist. Yeah. So you're sending a 13-year-old, or however how old I was at the time, to a psychiatrist? Really? What, because I'm a teenager? I'm at that age where kids can be outspoken? But that's okay. That's all right. That have like I said, I wasn't school was not the best time for me. That's a whole other story. Matter of fact, it might even be in one of those getting personal about myself. And I think it's probably in the first one because I really laid it out like an open book on that one. Um, okay, the first time home buyer program is a good thing. You got to watch the interest rate. You got to watch the interest rate. That's my concern. And because of inflation, the interest rates have taken a little bit of a bump. Not a lot, but a little bit of an upward bump. So, but I wouldn't mind that. That is something to think about. I've never owned a house unless, you count the one I with my father, but I've never owned a house in my whole life. Let's see. Oh, okay, Sam, I would love to be a landlord, but I am afraid of the renters not. Yeah, yeah, and that can be a difficult thing because then you have to go down to the courthouse and file a civil suit and take them to court and small claims court and try to get the money back and go through the time and trouble of getting them subpoenaed and hope that it gets served, and that right there within itself can be a major headache. Not that I've ever been down that road, but I do know the steps that are involved in that. Landlord, not a fun role. No, it's not. Being a landlord is very grueling work. Absolutely, because everything falls in your lap. Whatever goes wrong in that house, it's on it's on the landlord. So definitely grueling work. Let's see. Nope, I don't recommend it either. Um, okay, Sam, first time buyers here pay 5% down payment, otherwise it's 20. That's what, right, 5%. That's what I was told at one time. All I got to do is come up with about 5% of what the cost is. And yeah, that's right. Good to get that break. I've rented my entire adult life. I went through a lot of landlords' miserable job they have. There's nothing wrong with renting, especially if you can find the monthly rent that fits your budget. Then then you're okay. Let's see. Where is this Sam's? I agree, Richard. Miserable. Canada. Okay. Right. I figured Canada because Sam put up the Canadian flag earlier, so I kind of thought that. Um, Never been to Canada. Wouldn't mind going at some point. Federal government implements the rates and rules. Yes, they do. Oh, you're in Windsor. Okay. All right. So I'm caught up. Like I said, I want to make sure I read and answer everybody's comment. I don't want to leave anybody out. Okay. Born and lived in Toronto, but lived Montreal too. Okay. Yeah. Sam, yes. Richard brings up a good point. Where is Windsor? That I kind of would like to know that myself. Yeah, I've never been either. I wouldn't mind going. Of course, certain times of the year, like now, not in the winter. No way. Okay. The subways are spotless in Montreal. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, okay, in front of Detroit. Well, speaking of Detroit, not that I'm trying to change the subject, but one of my one of my favorite types of music come out of Detroit, Motown. Oh, I am a big, big lover of Motown music. And the decade doesn't matter, 60s, 70s, 80s, any of it. Yeah, Richard, I'm with you. I had no idea either. Okay, Linda, that's good to know. Across the river. Okay, Ontario. All right. Let's see. What did you say? Let me see. Richard. It would cost over $1 billion to overhaul the subways. That wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me, to say the least. Well, I wasn't really intending on being on live quite this long, but um, I'm about to go ahead and bring it to a close because like I said, I had no content for today, nothing at all. I will say this to all of you, and I think all of you need to know: tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, me, Jan from New York City Saves Money, that's here, and Len Wilson, who also has a channel, At Home with Len Wilson slash Everyday Living is her channel. The three of us will be getting together doing a collab. I put up a video, Jan puts up a video, Len will do a video. We all go up at 8 o'clock. So whoever you decide to go to first, let's say you come to me, the links to Jan's and Len's will be in my description box and also as a pinned post in my comments. So then when you get through watching me, you can go and watch their video. And then of course on Saturday, Jan from New York City Saves Money and I will be on at 1:30. It'll be a premiere. So that's what's up for the next couple of days. I just wanted to mention that to you all. How long do you think it would take to overhaul this New York sub? Ooh, actually, before I try to answer that, Richard, yes, 7 p.m. your time, because I'm Eastern and you're Central. So 7 o'clock your time is when the collab between the three of us will be on. That's a good question coming back to the New York. I don't know that. I'm guessing that could take months. That could take months, I'm thinking. Maybe even years. Not a lot of years, but it could take a while. Um, NW, I guess can't type. No, you're fine. It's fine. Um, take years. Okay, so all right, that makes sense. I honestly don't know, but I think so as well. I'm in agreement. Probably years. No problem, Janet. So let's see. So now all of you have a rundown. Richard, 7 p.m. for you. Everybody else, if you are Eastern, it's 8 p.m. If you are on the West Coast, it will be 5 p.m. The collab, and then the 1:30 with Jan and I. It'll be a premiere. Okay. All right. Over 200 miles of track. Yeah, Richard, that was a good question. I had no clue as to how big this New York subway system was. That's a lot of track. That's a lot. All right. Take care, Janet. Go charge your phone. That way you can be up to par for whatever, recordings or anything you have to do over there. Um, New York is 460 square miles. It is not. Okay, that I didn't know. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and conclude. I need to do that anyway because it's approaching 5, and I usually have dinner between 5:30 and 6. So I need to think about what I'm going to do there. But I want to thank all of you this afternoon for tuning in. Like I said, I almost didn't go live. I almost just left it as a blank day because tomorrow and Saturday there will be the collab and then Jan and I on together. So I'm just going to go ahead, bring this to a close. I want to thank all of you for tuning in this afternoon. Um, I really appreciate it. So be on the lookout for the collab tomorrow at 8 p.m. Um, and I'll just see you guys there. But I hope all of you have a great remainder of your Thursday, and I'll just see you tomorrow night. What now? Let me see. Steve, make yourself a casserole. I could do that. Oh, see, sauerkraut, which I love. I really do. I like it on a hot dog. And one time I had this German dish that was out of this world that a German lady friend made. Um, Richard, I hope you don't mind me. I hope you don't mind me asking this, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Because are you by chance part German because of the sauerkraut, or is it just a food that you like? Better yet, I'll do one better. I've got this covered. Okay, all right. Bye, Richard. Bye, Rose, Ann, Linda, everybody that's tuned in. Sam, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I wish you all the luck in the world with your house. Okay, okay, Richard. I thought so. I kind of suspected that because I was trying to figure out your last name. I was trying to figure out the surname, where it originated. Okay, that's good to know. Um, Better yet, and then you're French Canadian on your dad's side. Okay, that's that's a good mix of bloodlines, and mine. I just mentioned it earlier. So okay, all right, and I might, if you're going to be around, I may send you an email later. I don't know just yet. Probably after dinner. So like I said, thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm glad you all tuned in. I had nothing, but I'm glad we were able to make something out of it. Um, have a great remainder of tonight. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.